This is the third time we're running these seminars, and it's especially great because we have 16 different teams presenting. Over 110 students are taking part, and we have a competition this year. Our jurors, our committee, our judges are sitting in the front. All of our English teachers are judging our presentations today, and we have some judges judging at home, watching us live on YouTube. So you should all be on your best behavior because we're live. Right. I'd like to thank all of our students and all of our coaches for all the hard work they put into this. They spent a lot of time and a lot of effort in preparing what you're going to watch today, and the least you can do is listen carefully, or at least quietly. Thank you in advance. Passing you off to our host for today.
First presentation is going to be about depression and anxiety. Come. Lubię.
Kanada schreibt man yendo WhatsApp yendo sketches streams sketches.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us today. With this presentation, we aim to inform you about depression and anxiety, a profoundly serious topic that can affect everyone.
What is anxiety? Anxiety can be defined as a feeling of worry, dread, and unease. It can affect both mental and physical health, while symptoms can be manifested in various ways. Everyone has feelings of anxiety at some point in their lives, but some people find it hard to control their worries. Their feelings of anxiety are more constant and can often affect their daily lives. These feelings can be manifested in various ways.
Now, let's talk about the definition of depression. Depression is one of the most common types of mental health conditions, which negatively affects how you feel, the way you think, and how you act, and often develops alongside anxiety. Depression causes feelings of sadness and a loss of interest in activities you once enjoyed. It can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems and can decrease your ability to function at work, at school, basically everywhere.
What are teenagers anxious about? Teenagers are under a lot of pressure by both their peers and the adults in their life. They worry mostly about their bodies, how they're perceived, their performance, their grades, their bodies, and their future. Although being stressed about these kinds of things is normal, worrying too much can be unhealthy.
There are many types of anxiety disorders, but we will be talking about the most common ones. Firstly, generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD for short, is the state of constant and uncontrollable worry. Healthcare providers diagnose GAD when your worrying happens on most days and for at least 6 months. Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, is a disorder that develops in some people who have experienced, a shocking, scary, or dangerous event.
Social anxiety disorder, also called social phobia, is a long-term and overwhelming fear of social situations. It's a common problem that usually starts during the teenage years and can be very distressing and have a big impact on your life. Lastly, panic disorder can cause people regular and sudden attacks of fear or panic.
Let's look briefly at the causes of depression. Depression can be caused by extreme anxiety, abuse, age, stressful or traumatic life events, biochemical factors, personality traits, and other mental health problems.
Moving on, we will be talking about the symptoms of anxiety. The most common ones are feeling nervous or tired, having a sense of impending danger, having an increased heart rate, sweating, trembling, and finding it difficult to concentrate or sleep.
Concerning the symptoms of depression, some examples are continuous sadness, having no motivation, feeling worthless or helpless, being restless, changes in sleeping patterns or eating habits, loss of energy or increase in fatigue, and difficulty concentrating and having suicidal thoughts.
Many of the symptoms mentioned can have detrimental effects to one's health. That's why you should consider visiting a doctor when you feel like you're worrying too much, your fear or anxiety is difficult to control, you feel depressed, have trouble with alcohol or drug use, or have other mental health concerns along with anxiety. Lastly, it is crucial to seek emergency help if you reach to the point of having suicidal thoughts or behaviors.
Both anxiety and depression can be extremely difficult to deal with. However, treatment is possible as long as you are willing to acknowledge your issues and ask for help. Some of the most common and accessible forms of treatment are psychotherapy, which involves working with a therapist to reduce your anxiety or depression symptoms and tackle the problem at its source. Medication in the form of antidepressants, which can be used to treat anxiety disorders only if prescribed by a doctor. And lastly, some lifestyle changes like working out, avoiding alcohol and recreational drugs, eating healthily, and resting well.
Coming close to our end, we want to talk to you about something a bit different. Previously, we talked about teenagers and how they experience anxiety and depression in general. After researching this topic thoroughly, we became curious about the teenagers in our school. Well, we have asked our classmates some sensitive questions, and here are the results. We had a questionnaire running for a bit over a week, and we have received 118 replies. Of those, 75 were female, 35 were male, and 8 who preferred not to disclose this information. More than 100 students said that they feel stressed about school, while around 80 students sleep less than 6 hours per night because of school. What about you? How many of you are stressed about school? Now, how many of you believe that you are getting enough sleep? Well, the answers speak for themselves. When asked about how much time students spend daily on studying, we have received a range between 30 minutes to 7 hours, with 3 to 4 hours being the most common ones.
To the question, how stressed are you about attending school? As you can see on the graph behind me, we received every answer, ranging from 0, not at all, to 10, extremely. Most students opted for a higher number with 60.2% choosing a number between 7 and 10.
The answers we received about the way some of you handle stress are quite similar from one another, with the most popular replies being listening to music, sleeping, working out, walking my dog, and talking with friends. The answer crying was also among the most common ones. How do you handle stress?
Stress is not only for teenagers, but for adults as well. So, when I'm stressed, the first thing I do is talking to a friend or a close member of my family, or sometimes I cry.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I do activities that make me feel at ease, like going for a walk or speak with my friends.
Cry myself to sleep.
Miren volando estos.
I listen to Nicki Minaj.
Well, thank you everyone. Finishing our presentation, we would like you to read the words of Zayed K. Abdelmouk. Be strong enough to stand alone, smart enough to know when you need help, and brave enough to ask for it. Thank you for your attention.
Any questions?
Hey, Bapu.
How many rehearsals we done? Well, we done about 3, I believe. Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for the great presentation. Now moving on, we have a presentation about genders.
Hi.
Hi everyone. First off, we would like to thank you all for being here. Our topic for today is genders and everything you need to know about them. We hope you enjoy.
I hope you don't mind if I sit here. I have had an accident with my leg and I can't stand for a long time.
Now, let's take a look at the differences between gender and sex. As you can see on the screen, sex describes a person according to their physical characteristics, thus it is typically assigned at birth. While, on the contrary, gender describes how a person identifies, and it's not necessarily the same as their sex. Besides this, gender is a broad spectrum, and anyone can identify within it or outside of it.
Cisgender. A cisgender person identifies with the sex that they were assigned at birth. This includes a man who was assigned male at birth or one who was assigned female at birth.
Moving on, non-binary people feel that their gender identity cannot be defined within the margin of gender binary. Instead, they understand their gender in a way that goes beyond simply identifying as a man or a woman.
Gender fluid. Gender fluid means a person embraces and adapts the nature to the concept of gender identity and gender expression. They can be one gender, multiple genders, or no gender. Gender neutral is often a term used to describe people of any gender. So, moving on to transgender. Transgender person is someone who experiences and identifies with a different gender than their sex assigned at birth. Most of you might think that the word transgender only describes people who are trans men or trans women. However, it also encompasses people who identify as a gender other than man or woman, including non-binary and gender fluid. Now, transgender people have existed in cultures worldwide since ancient times, though the modern terms of transgender, gender identity, and gender role only emerged in the 1950s and 1960s. As a result, opinions vary on how to categorize historical accounts of gender variant people and identities.
Transphobia is a general negative attitude towards transgender people, often expressed by fear, hatred, violence, and anger towards them. It is often expressed along homophobic views. Transphobia has been shown to affect various aspects of people's lives. Transgender people may experience discrimination and harassment as well as any type of abuse.
Now, what is gender dysphoria? Gender dysphoria is the feeling of discomfort or distress that might occur in people whose gender identity differs from their sex assigned at birth or sex-related physical characteristics. Moving on to the consequences of gender dysphoria, people might have a hard time functioning at school or at work. Some of them might have relationship difficulties, anxiety, depression, self-harm, eating disorders, substance misuse, and more. People who have gender dysphoria also often experience discrimination resulting in stress. Accessing health services and mental health services can be difficult due to the fear of stigma and the lack of experienced care providers. Now you are going to see a video of a trans man talking about his experience with gender dysphoria. Enjoy.
We can't hear.
Dysphoria comes from the Greek word dysphoria, which means a state of discomfort or unease. Gender dysphoria is when a person feels distressed because their gender identity does not match up with the gender they were assigned at birth. There are three main kinds of dysphoria: physical dysphoria, social dysphoria, and mental dysphoria. Physical dysphoria is when a trans person feels distressed because their body doesn't match up with the gender they truly are. For example, trans men often have dysphoria about our chest. This is because this physical trait doesn't align with our true male genders, and this can cause us to feel discomfort and stress. We can fix that by having top surgery, which is a procedure that removes breast tissue and creates a more masculine appearing chest. The second type of dysphoria is social dysphoria. This is when a trans person feels distress in social situations because they might be misgendered or mistaken for the gender they were assigned at birth rather than their true gender. This is made worse when other people don't make the effort to use a trans person's correct name and pronouns. Being referred to with the correct pronouns is a great feeling because it shows you're recognised as how you feel on the inside by people on the outside. If someone uses your old name, it's called dead naming, and it can feel horrible as a trans person. Dead naming makes social dysphoria even worse for trans people. Lastly, we have mental dysphoria, also called emotional dysphoria. This is when a trans person feels distressed because of their worries about transitioning and the disconnect between their true gender and assigned gender. This can be the hardest kind of dysphoria to escape, because it's something that's always lingering in your mind. Trans people can be badly affected by dysphoria mentally as well. If left untreated, dysphoria can lead to social isolation, poor mental health, and in some cases, self-harm and suicide. One way trans people help lessen their dysphoria is by altering their appearance to reflect their true gender. This can be done by changing their hair, wearing more gendered clothes, or binding or padding their chest. Gender dysphoria can also be alleviated by medically transitioning. This includes taking hormones and having gender reaffirming surgeries to make our bodies match our gender identities. Not all trans people have surgery or take hormones now. It's not a required part of being transgender or non-binary. If you or someone you know is struggling with dysphoria, check the link in the description below to find a list of organisations that can help.
All the examples that were mentioned in the video focus mainly on trans men. They also apply to all people who identify as transgender. Now, some of you might wonder, what are pronouns? Well, pronouns are considered the little words that we use in place of person's name in order to describe them or their actions. Pronouns are a part of a person's gender identity and are not really preferred, but instead they are required for respectful communication. When someone is referred to with the wrong pronouns, it can make them feel disrespected, invalidated, or even dysphoric. But what should you say when a friend comes out? To start with, you should let them know that you appreciate their trust. Make sure to ask about their pronouns so you don't detonate them or make them feel dysphoric. And let them know that you support them. Don't cry. Remember that nobody owes you information, and make sure that your friend feels comfortable with your questions. Most importantly, don't out them to someone else, and never ever assume that it's a phase.
Now we need you to scan this code and answer some questions based on your knowledge about genders and the knowledge that you gained from us. And feel free to ask any questions. I would like to make a comment based on your responses. A non-binary person is someone who are not solely male or female. The other other choices that you chose doesn't describe non-binary people. Transgender people don't have to medically transition. It's true. Some people don't choose to transition. It's their choice. The topics that some transgender people may feel uncomfortable to discuss about is their birth name and their sexuality and sexual relationships. You can feel free to ask them about their pronouns and their gender. Transgender person's identity depends on what thing they have done or haven't done to transition. It's false. Someone who is trans can choose to not transition some topics. You can tell someone's gender by the way they look. Actually, it's true. It's based on your opinion. I would say that you can't tell someone's gender by the way they look because some people may identify with a gender different than the way they look. Such as non-binary people may present more feminine to others. Not all people who appear androgynous or gender non-confirming identify as transgender or desire gender affirmation treatment is true. And gender identity, gender and being transgender are distinct concepts from sexual orientation. It's true. People who are transgender doesn't have to do with their sexuality. Now let's see your answers to what would you do if someone told you that they were transgender. And I will talk to them how I normally do, and I will look at them the same. This is nice. This is good. Nothing. Show understanding and not cry for more information. This is the best one, I think. Support him, her. Okay. Encourage them, yes. I would accept them as they are. Thank them for telling me and completely support them. That's nice. I'll accept them, tell them that I support them and be happy about them. Be chill. I will accept them. Party. I would make him, her, my friend. Okay. Show understanding and I would not accept them. Okay, but at least show respect, please. I would not care at all. Okay. Yes. So that.
This is not a hard presentation. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, you can ask. Any questions?
I want to ask something. Well, how did you come up with the idea of creating a question? And did this help you? I mean, it showed that it helped you. It was a good idea. How did you come up with this idea of having a QR code and have feedback from your classmates. Okay?
When we were in the previous presentations, we had other team participants, and we took some ideas from the previous ones, so we incorporated them into this presentation.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Moving on, our next presentation is going to be about bullying.
Hey, teacher. And back on. Teacher. Teacher.
Hello guys.
Can you please settle down? Rama Vedatria had to leave, they had a volleyball game. Everyone else stay in your seats, please. Secunde αγώνες να αποχωρήσουμε παρακαλώ για να ξεκινήσουμε. Alright, we're going to take a 5-minute break. Sorry guys, just 5 minutes until everyone leaves and others come in. Alright? Alright, settle down everyone, we need to get started. We have another 3 presentations. Everyone take your seats. Everyone take your seats.
Hello guys, my name is Rohella. First of all, I would like to thank you for coming here today. Today, me and my team, Marcos, Gloria, Angelina and Antonia, have the chance to talk about a very serious issue of today's society, which is bullying. There are lots of type of bullying, which is school bullying, verbal violence, body shame, and cyberbullying. So today we are going to talk about school bullying. School bullying, which is deliberate, unprovoked, and repeated. Which is an abuse of power by the person who does the bullying, and the victims end up having low self-esteem. The victims usually do not have courage to defend themselves, and they do not ask for help because they are scared to do so. To continue with verbal violence, the definition of verbal bullying is when an individual uses verbal language to gain power over his or her peers. For example, a less athletically inclined peer may be called nerd or weak. Unlike physical bullying, by definition, verbal bullying is harder to see and stop. It tends to occur when adults are around to stop it, and the effects of it are not obvious. Verbal bullying can be very damaging and may have long-term physiological effects on the victim. Now we watch a video. In this video, we have watched the effects of verbal bullying. The little girl was being bullied by her classmates for a long period of time. Every day she went to school, they made her feel lonely, sad, and unworthy. This led to her having depression. The feeling of depression was so overwhelming for her that she unfortunately decided to end her own life in order to escape.
Moving on with another form of bullying, which is body shaming. Our sense of body image is typically influenced by many factors like
friends, family, and social media. Unfortunately, we live in a society where we are highly focused on our physical appearance and how we look. Social media is inundated with images that promote flawless bodies and models who Photoshop their pictures. Furthermore, teenagers are obsessed with their appearance, combined with the intense exposure of unrealistic body ideals and beauty standards. Consequently, many people feel the pressure to look a certain way to fit into this perfect mold. Now, why do people body shame? People body shame because they think that by insulting someone, it will make them feel better about themselves. What can we do to stop body shaming? By educating ourselves and learning how to body shaming can slip into our life, to conversations, social interactions, and online behavior. Being able to identify body shaming can bring you to the self-awareness you need to act responsible and prevent you from accidentally hurting others people's feelings with this toxic behavior. Look beyond your physical appearance. Try to acknowledge all of you. Think about the things that make you love yourself aside from your looks. People should love themselves because they are smart or perhaps loyal or funny. By using your strength in meaningful ways, you are able to improve your self-confidence and overall mental well-being. Being confident makes your mental health strong. You don't care about someone else's bad opinion.
The definition of cyberbullying is bullying someone with the use of digital technologies. Cyberbullying can be seen on social media, messaging platforms, or gaming platforms, or any other form of online communication. It's a repeated behavior aimed at scaring, angering, or shaming those who are targeted. Victims of cyberbullying unfortunately have an incredibly high chance of experiencing lower self-esteem, increased suicidal ideation, and various negative emotional responses, including being anxious, frustrated, angry, or depressed.
I never talked about my story or anything. I feel like I kind of accepted it because it was affecting me territory. So I kind of was online and just finding other girls and boys my age who have been bullied and have kind of overcome it and just done something amazing with it, who inspired me. So I kind of wanted them to just use like my platform and post their stories on Instagram to hopefully inspire my followers too.
Like when I was in school, the whole reason I started writing songs was because I was alone a lot of the time. And, I'd sit there in school and I'd be hearing people like, oh my god, this party we're going to is going to be so awesome on Friday. Everyone's invited. Over there, and I just wouldn't be invited to stuff, and I would sit there and I'd be like, it's okay, because I can write songs. It's already hard enough being 18 and figuring out who you are and what you want to be, and people just constantly break you down. So if anything, the song was for my fans, because it's hard enough, and the song is basically saying, we're all inspired, we all feel this way, that I think it's beautiful, and it's not sad, it's just fun. It's just right.
Cyberbullying is something that can happen to anyone. Even some of the most well-known people of the world have experienced it. It's important to acknowledge that being a victim of cyberbullying is definitely not your fault, and as we saw in the video, it can happen to anyone. The reasons is that lack of role models for parents, lack of respect towards others, a lack of critical round, and lack of human education.
Okay. Now, how can we deal with it? This is where we need your help. In your opinion, what is the best way to deal with this issue? Do you have any suggestions? None?
We need to stop promoting unhealthy lifestyles or unhealthy ways to look.
I think there was one more person who wanted to say something.
I think that maybe schools should be a little more strict about bullying. Maybe there should be bigger consequences to bullies and something that will actually scare them. Because in Cyprus we really don't do anything about it and it goes on and on. So maybe a little more strict consequences would be great.
Okay, both of those are great ideas and great solutions to this problem. You also could cultivate critical thoughts, cultivating of humanitarian education, and creating respect and individually of one projection of ideal role models by parents. So this will be the end of our presentation. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions? Yeah.
Thank you so much. Next, we have another presentation about depression.
Hello everybody, and thanks for joining us in our presentation. My name is Evi, this is Stella, Maria, and Hartia, and we are here to do a presentation about depression. So, take a look on these labels. What do you think are their emotions? You can raise hands or something.
They're celebrities and they seem to be pretty happy. However, that's a mixed area. You never know what's going on.
Well, yes, but did you know that all of them suffered from depression in the past? Well, this is a fact.
No way.
What about this? Do you think this glass is half full or half empty?
Well, I think that this is half full.
But I think it's half empty. It actually depends on what kind of person you are. An optimistic person would say that this glass is half full, and a pessimistic person would definitely say that the glass is half empty. Nowadays, many people struggle with depression, especially in the 2 years we are forced to stay in our homes for a long time without seeing other people, which greatly affected the psychology of many people.
Well, what depression really is? Well, it is a common and serious medical illness that negatively affects how you feel, the way you think, and how you act. It causes feelings of sadness. It can lead to physical problems and decrease your function to work.
Have you ever thought at what ages people go through depression? Children and teens are more likely to go through depressive episodes. To be more specific, in 2020, many adolescents from 12 to 17 years old had a depressive episode severe enough to cause significant impairment. Furthermore, a small percentage of adults have a depressive disorder. Aging and depression don't necessarily go together, but older people are most likely to grieve the loss of friends and family.
Well, depression affects us in many ways. First of all, poor performance in school. Lots of students during a depressive episode don't want to go to school. Even if they do go, they don't study at all. They fail in exams and tests, even if they were very good students in the past. Also, they withdraw with friends and activities they enjoyed before.
They feel sad and hopeless in anything they do, and they may feel anger or rage for no reason. Also, sometimes they overreact in situations they don't need to. They think that they are unable to satisfy ideas. They don't value themselves properly or feel guilty about things that's not their fault. Lots of them have suicide thoughts or even actions.
Depression does not affect just the mind, the whole body. Teens struggle with depression may feel sad, anxious, guilt, angry, and their mood swings constantly. They also think negatively. They are confused about many things, for example, the meaning of life. They can't concentrate and they are indecisive.
Their body is exhausted, they can't sleep or they sleep too much. They don't want to eat and they may have psychosomatic symptoms. Their behavior changes too. For example, they don't socialize, they have destructive behavior, they don't care about themselves, there are duties and obligations, and lots of them use drugs or drink alcohol. Depression can be serious, but fortunately in most cases it's treatable.
Some of the treatments are self-help, which means exercise, get enough sleep, and spend time with positive people.
People with middle depression can improve their well-being with an alternative therapy, which includes massage, hypnosis, and biofeedback. There are also some steps to avoid a relapse into depression. You can take steps to control stress. You can do a self-care practice, for example, by creating a healthy sleep routine. In addition, you can reach out for friendship and social support. You should get treatment at the earliest sign of problem and maintain ongoing treatment if recommended.
Lots of people today struggle with depression. So, guys, you're not alone. There's someone out there, parent, sibling, therapist, or friend that can help you deal with depression. Even if they can't, you should always remember that you can trust yourself and take care of them first. If anybody has a question, you can hear it. Yes.
I'm kind of concerned about the thing you said that depression is treatable. I thought depression was mostly something that you learn to handle throughout your life. And I think by saying that it's treatable is like a disease that you take pills or something and you can get through it and you would never have it again. And I'm just trying to understand what you meant by treatable.
Well, depression is a disease, and it can be, you can handle it in many ways. What we said before, like in depressions, and take steps to control stress and stuff. But yeah, if you suddenly you're okay, like with depression, and you're happy, it doesn't mean that you will not have depression never again. Did I answer to the question? Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Now moving on to our final presentation for the day about acceptance.
Επειδή εσάς πιάνει.
Hi, Maria. Hi, Anna. I can't believe what happened.
Oh my god, me too.
Okay, don't be mad about it.
How can I not be mad about it when we're surrounded by these close-minded people?
Yes, you're right, but I believe that we should accept everyone and bring down stereotypes.
Yeah, that's true. A quick note is that at the end of the presentation, we're gonna play a memory game in which you'll be rewarded with a chocolate. So pay attention. So today we are going to talk about acceptance, which includes genders and sexuality, and stereotypes in jobs and education.
These are the two definitions. Acceptance is an agreement that something is satisfactory or right and that should be included in a group. And stereotypes is a fixed idea that people have about what a particular type of person is like, especially an idea that is wrong.
Let's start with stereotypes in employment and workplace. Firstly, women are less than men at a certain job position, and people from third world countries earn less than native people. Secondly, women and men don't have the same opportunities for a job, since jobs have been categorized from society to being men's and women's jobs. Also, people from third world countries usually get less opportunities for better positions. Lastly, it is known that women are given less job opportunities than men and are differently treated by their colleagues.
So let's talk about education. Firstly, we have subjects. It is commonly believed by many people that boys are better in science and mathematics and girls are better in languages, arts and literature. Secondly, we have the opportunity for education. Unfortunately, girls in some countries are not allowed to attend school just because they are supposed to be housewives and men are supposed to be financial supporters of their family. Also, kids in third world countries have less access to education than the rest of the world.
These are the top 8 worst countries in equality between the genders. The top 3 spots are held by Qatar, United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia. Thankfully, Cyprus is not in the top 8.
Do you know what LGBTQ is? For those who don't, it is an abbreviation for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer or questioning, intersex, asexual, and more. These terms are used to describe a person's sexual orientation or gender identity. These people in some communities are not accepted.
We found out through CNN Network that in Uganda they passed a law which states that anyone who identifies as LGBTQ+ is going to be treated as a criminal who can be punished with up to 20 years in prison or even death penalty.
So here we have the best and worst countries to be an LGBTQ+ member, and as we can see, green represents the safest countries and purple the most dangerous. Since I'm concerned about what has happened earlier in school, I've asked some of our classmates of what do they do.
Βασικά πιστεύω ότι σε σημερινή εποχή μετά από πολλούς αγώνες πλέον πρέπει η γυναίκα να αναδείχνει την ίδια θέση με τη θέση του άντρα. Πρέπει να μην υπάρχουν διαφοροποιήσεις μεταξύ των δύο φύλων, γιατί και ο άντρας και η γυναίκα μπορούν να κάνουν τα ίδια πράγματα σε πολλούς τομείς.
Σίγουρα η στήριξη γυναίκας σε σχέση με προηγούμενα χρόνια βελτιώθηκε αρκετά. Αλλά ακόμα θεωρώ ότι κάποια πράγματα είναι ακόμα να κάνει. Σίγουρα ο άντρας σε κάποια ζητήματα είναι πιο παρόμοια γυναίκα. Οπότε πρέπει να υπάρχει τη διαφορά στο να μην δεσμεύουμε ρούχα και να κρατούμε κάποια ουσία για να δει σε ένα σπίτι ο καθένας να κάνει την κόρη του για να κάνουμε τις δουλειές του σπιτιού. Αν δεν να κάνουμε κάποια άλλα πράγματα πιο βαρετά που θα το βγάλει στο ίδιο. Για να μην υπάρχει ο διαγωνισμός ασχολείται κατά παντού με το δικαιώμα της γυναίκας, χωρίς να παραλύει τις ελευθερίες της.
Έρχεται κάποιος δικός σου και γνωρίζει ότι ανήκει στο LGBTQ community. Πώς να αντιδράσεις?
Πρώτα θα το συμπεριφέρουμε ως κάποιο άτομο περιθωριοποιημένο, να το συμπεριφέρουμε με την ίδια συμπεριφορά όπως κάνουμε στους άλλους. Απλά ξέρεις, θα το ρωτήσω παραπάνω πράγματα, θα φέρω σε δύσκολη θέση.
Νομίζω πλέον η κοινωνία μας είναι πιο ανοιχτομυαλή. Εγώ προσωπικά να μου χαρούς για κοινόν, πρέπει να πάω στον άλλο για αυτό που είναι. Κάποια στερεότυπα που υπάρχουν πλέον, ότι τα αγόρια αρέσκουν στα κορίτσια, τα κορίτσια τα αγόρια, αλλά πλέον τα στερεότυπα πράφιουν.
Να αντιδράσω πολλά θετικά, γιατί ως ένα μέλος του LGBTQ community καταλαβαίνω την περνώση και να ήθελα να τους κάνω να νιώσουν accepted και ωραίοι.
So we decided to expand our results by asking some more questions. And after hard work, we got 205 responses.
When asked if they believe that there should be equality between the two genders, fortunately, the 91.2% answered positively and only 8.8% answered no.
When we asked if occupation should be related to gender, that 83.4% responded no, and the 16.6% responded yes.
Next, we asked if they have ever witnessed an incident of racism or sexist comment, and as we can see, up to 50% have answered no, and fortunately, the rest yes. If the answer was yes, we asked how did they react, and here are some of the answers. I supported the victim, I spoke to the person who made the comment and tried to explain why it was wrong, I laughed, I responded accordingly, and the only thing that is certain is that we shouldn't stay idle. Some more reactions were the following. The victim and I complained to the professor. I showed that we have no right to veto another person. I responded and pointed out that I strongly disagreed. And last one, I objected quite a bit.
When asked if he supports LGBTQ+, 33.6% answered negatively and 66.4% answered positively.
When asked if it bothered if someone had different sexuality, the 92.1 responded no, and the 7.9 responded yes. If the answer was yes, in the previous poll, these are some of the answers they gave us. They bother them only if they provocate. It depends if they are a woman, no. If they are gay, it bothers me. I won't say anything if it doesn't provoke. Because it's not right, and if they shows it to everyone, yes, be humble.
In conclusion, we should always accept and respect ourselves first and then the others.
Now it's time to play the memory game. The questions will appear on
πριν που βάλατε και στις σημαίες και τις χώρες για τα women ότι δεν έχουν rights και δεν είναι σε εξιστικές χώρες, για τις πρώτες και τρεις ενίσχυ επειδή το Κατάρ και το Μπαχρέν actually έχουν παραπάνω rights τα women που παρά στην Κύπρο και παρά σε άλλες χώρες επειδή στα τρένα τους έχουν δικά τους βαγόνια από μόνο οι γυναίκες να μην έχουν ότι οι άντρες να τους ενοχλήσουν και να τους κάνουν sexually harassed.
This slide was not about women, it was about people who are a member of the LGBTQ plus community.
Επίσης, στις πλούσιες χώρες, όπως ξέρουμε, οι γυναίκες διαφοροποιούνται από τους άντρες. Γι' αυτό ένας λόγος είναι ότι που μπορεί να είναι διαφορετικό το bathroom, όπως είπες, είναι επειδή μπορεί να φορούν τη μαντιλά τους, μπορεί για να μην τους δουν, μπορεί για οποιοδήποτε λόγο. Και πρέπει να τα πει στο σελίδα που είναι εγκυριόποτα.
Τσίνο, actually, είναι διαφορετικό που η χώρα παρά με το Islamic religion και δεν έχει σχέση μαντιλά με τα rights του women.
Ναι, αλλά μπορούμε να κρίνουμε μόνο που έναν νόμο που έχουν στα τρένα, αν ισχύει για ολόκληρη τη χώρα.
Τσίνο ήταν απλά παράδειγμα.
Ναι, αλλά το παραπάνω ισχύει για τις χώρες. Οπότε ισχύει.
Οκ, ευχαριστούμε για την ενημέρωση.
Google.
Έλα, ήρεμα.
Firstly, I have to congratulate you for your interactive presentation. Whether there is, I mean, you double check your information from different sources, right? Whether there, I don't think that there is there are different opinions. So my suggestion is to organize next time, Valentina, we can organize a debate on the issue, do your research, and come with your information, your research, and have a hot debate. Okay? Congratulations, and we are waiting for the chocolate.
So let's start our game. First, our question is, what is acceptance? A or B?
B. C.
B. B. Hands up.
B. B.
B.
Okay, that's enough, I think.
Αρέστε εμένα.
Let's move on to the next question. Bahrain is number 6 in the worst countries for inequality between the genders. A, yes, B, no.
No. Go around
A yes.
Yes. Δεν θα λύσω εγώ τους πόρους.
Next question.
What does the letter B stand for? Bi-curious, bisexual, or bi?
Άντε, μάχτησε.
B.
It's correct. B.
So, how much people we have asked for the question? A, B, or C?
Bro. A. D.
Sí.
So C. Okay, show the answer, please. And the right answer is C.
Let us believe that girls are better in science and mathematics, but girls, no.
Georgia ganas live.
Yes.
That's the last question. The color for the safest countries to be LGBTQ plus member was A, green, or B, purple?
A.
Show the answer, please.
And the answer was A, green. Thank you so much for your attention. That was our presentation.
Right, that is the end of day one. Thank you everyone for being here.